If you're trying to improve your e-commerce store's conversion rate by making your website look nicer, I've got some bad news for you. Your customers don't give a about your gradients. They care about the things that you're currently ignoring. And that's why I'm going to give you 6 real e-commerce A/B tests from famous brands with the actual results and some core lessons about how to apply those learnings to our own project. Most founders try and scale their ads before fixing leaks in their website, which is like pouring water into a bucket filled with holes. So let's build a bucket that actually works by stealing some wins from successful brands. Test number 1, the add to cart placement by Clear Within. They tested just one thing, where the add to cart button sat in relation to the fold. Version A, they tested the add to cart button below the fold, which meant that the customers had to scroll to find the button when on mobile. And version B, they simply moved it up the page so that it was there on your screen when you opened it. Well, the result of this was an 80% increase in add to carts when the button was above the fold. So that's version B that won. And that happened in just 3 days. So the lesson from this is if somebody's ready to buy, don't add any more admin for them. A core fundamental truth in conversion rate optimization is about reducing friction. The more friction you add, the less people make it through the process. Okay, test number 2. Clarks, the shoe company, had a free shipping policy. But they also had a feeling that customers weren't noticing it, even though it was plastered all the way along their journey to the product pages. So the test was simple. Version A was the control version. They left everything as it was with free shipping being stated all over the website, but not directly on the product page. And version B, free shipping was extremely obvious and right next to the CTA. Well, the result, moving the free shipping right next to the CTA increased conversions by 2.6%, which in a company of this size made them an extra £2.8 million in revenue. That was a good day for the e-commerce team. So how should we use this in our own projects? Well, we need to remember that even though we might have told our customers something hundreds of times in their journey to purchase, if it's an extremely important feature like free shipping, you can't leave it out of the equation at the conversion point. So put your most important factors and features right next to the add to cart button so they can't miss it. Okay, test number 3. Metals for You wanted to make their delivery info more visible. The team hypothesized that the speed of delivery was an extremely important factor when it came to their customers' decision-making process. So they wanted to lean into how fast they could get their product to you. A looked like this, and B looked like this. The result was a 6.9% increase in conversions. But this doesn't just mean you need to do faster shipping and you're guaranteed success. A second core rule in conversion rate optimization is understanding your audience to the core. Knowing them to the point where you don't need to guess what factors drives their decisions the most. And if you don't know them to this point, then this test might be a good place to start. Test number 4. Swiss Gear tested some very minor improvements on their product page and they saw some big leaps in conversions. And weirdly, even a higher jump in conversions during peak seasons, which would have been a nice surprise. Okay, so version A, you can see that there's quite a lot to look at. The color schemes are nice and they all match, but your eyes don't really know where to look first. It's not clear what order you should read this in. Whereas in version B, the only things that are in red are the things that actually matter. So the final price and the add to cart button, the things they actually want you to see. So this new clearer product detail section caused a 52% increase in conversions in normal periods and 137% increase during holiday periods, which is mental to me. And this stumbles perfectly into another core lesson of conversion rate optimization. Simplification should always be your starting point. We all seem to think that if there's an issue, we can add something to fix it. When in reality, reducing elements and touch points and overall reducing the amount of clicks and time spent on the website is much more powerful. Plus, if we spend our time removing things, we only need to monitor and test 10 elements, rather than if we spent our time adding things, we would end up needing to monitor and test 20, 30, 50 elements. Start with simplification. Okay, test 5 with Beckett Simonon. Simonon? I don't know. This tests lifestyle storytelling versus product focused selling. I'm just gonna call them Beckett for short. Beckett tested a more story-led approach, but they put it in a refreshing and not so common place. A, all about the products. This is a big list of all the products that they offer. B is, here is some products, but here's also some things we believe in as a brand. And I think it's genius because my assumption is that maybe their product page was overwhelming and there's too much information there, but they wanted to get these things across, and so they've chosen this innovative place to do it. Well, the result, a 5% increase in conversion rates and actually a 237% annualized return on investment, which is a less clear metric, I know, but this is what they were boasting about when they did the test. So, lesson for us in our project is not to limit yourself to the generic uses of each page. Yes, we don't want to be too experimental because that often confuses the user and ends in more friction. But if we've got a lot that we want to teach our customers on their journey to purchase, spread that information out across these touch points so when they hit the product page, it's very simple and they're already ready to buy. Test number 6, TM Lewin were tackling objections. So they were receiving a lot of messages in live chat asking the same old question. What happens if this item doesn't fit me? So they tested this. A is the old version with a perfectly good looking product page. I've got no complaints about that. And B, they added a button which opened a pop-up that answered that exact frequently asked question. Well, as it turns out, a lot more than just the people who were opening the live chat and asking the question wanted to know the answer to it. And it must have been a major reason that people left the page and moved on with their search. There was a 7% increase in overall sales and a 50% increase on this product page alone. That's a huge win. So the conversion rate fundamental here, tackle your customers' objections before they need to try and go and look for that answer. If they have to spend their time looking for one, it's already too late. Again, this is where knowing your audience is extremely important because you already know what objections they've got and what questions are stopping them from moving on to the next stage. Okay, so now it's time for you to put some of these tests to work. But how do we measure what's actually worked and what's pushing us in the right direction? Well, for that, you need growth looping, which you can learn all about in this video here. Let's continue our chat over there.